words. They don't just communicate thoughts. They reveal the hidden things in our hearts. They don't just communicate ideas. They create worlds. The mouth and the words we say are a creative force that is not only used all the time, but everywhere we go. Our words are the very essence of how the Creator made us. Join us as we discover the essence of man and the power of speech. Hello, welcome to the Essence of Man and the Power of Speech. We are on day 142, Time to Ponder. Now, this is going to be a really good one today, and I really want you to pay attention because it's time to really start pondering our actions of evil speech and its sin that accompanies it. Because the way to rid ourselves of negativity, which we talked about yesterday, is to ponder its effects. What effects does negative activity have on us? What effects does negative speech, and when I say negative speech, I'm talking about evil speech. I'm not talking about, you understand what I'm talking about. I'm talking about speaking evil against people, gossiping, and so on and so forth. What effects does negativity, i.e. disobeying the scriptures, have on us? Well, the Bible tells us both in the Old and the New Testament, love your neighbor as yourself. And this is crucial. You know, there's two things that cause us to sin. One, not loving God with all our heart, mind, and soul. Two, not loving our neighbor as ourself. On these two commandments hang the law and the prophets. When we stop loving God with our heart, mind, and soul, when we stop loving people as our neighbor as ourselves, what we're actually doing is becoming selfish. We're creating a selfish desire. Thus, that is definitely leading us into negative activity. And so usually this leads to a baseless hatred. Okay? When we don't love people as ourselves, when we don't love our neighbor as ourselves, this leads to a baseless hatred. And the thing about that is that whether we realize it or not, speaking evil, gossip, slander, so on and so forth, is a form of hatred of our neighbor. And even a hatred towards ourselves, because you think about it. We know by now, we're 142 days into this, we know by now that there are severe consequences to speaking evil, both in this world and the one to come. We've read many scriptures, and we still have quite a few more days to go, and we're going to even read even more scripture as we get into this. But that's why this baseless hatred, there is no founding for this hatred whatsoever. Okay? It's baseless. There's no root to it. That's why we are to judge in righteousness and not baseless hatred. You know, judges are to rule by the rule of law, not by emotion. We rule based upon case presented and the rule of law that goes with the case presented. We don't judge judges do not judge based upon, well, you know what, I just feel this isn't right. An honest judge can't do that. That is baseless. Your emotions have nothing to do with the rule of law. The law is the law. The law is the law of the land. Your emotions have nothing to do with this. But what happens is baseless hatred built by emotion causes us to break law, causes us to justify breaking law, causes us to twist things to the point that we change realities. Try to. There is no such thing. Reality is reality, but we change quote unquote reality in our world. And But nevertheless, the truth is the truth. The Sefer in Heredim 66:39, one who judges his fellow critically becomes attached to one of the spiritual forces of impurity. Now you listen to that. A person who does not judge properly, but judges critically. If you judge people critically, you attach yourself to a spiritual force of impurity. Whenever we are critical of people, off baseless hatred, okay? You don't even know why you hate it. You just hate them. You don't even know why you hate the thing. You just hate it. You don't even know why you hate them because somebody told you to, and you have no rhyme or reason. There's a lot of generations grown up today that are where hatred is being passed down. And there's no basis for it. But we're going to hate. We don't even know why we're hating. There's an episode of Andy Griffith. I think it's the Carters and the Wakefields. And these two young kids, one's female, one's male, one to get married, and one's from the Wakefields, and one's from the Carters. And they're doing it, and they're getting married in secret because these families have been feuding one another for a long time. So Andy says, I'm going to figure out why they're fighting. And so he goes and he finds out there's not been one record of anybody being killed in any of this feuding going on, where shots were fired for God knows how long, decades. And so he goes to him, he says, why are you fighting him? He said, because he's a Wakefield. And the other goes to the other, said, why are you fighting him? Because he's a Carter. Why y'all been fighting? Because we've been doing it for... It's baseless. Baseless. But what we don't understand, every time we are critical, we're attaching ourselves to a spiritual force of impurity. Shabbos 97a reads, one who suspects the innocent is afflicted physically. When we begin to judge the innocent, afflictions can come upon the physical body. Period. That's why it's important that we ponder our actions of speaking evil. We really take into account some things. What are we doing? Why are we doing it? Not judge wrongly, but judge righteously. Okay? Hey, until then, or until tomorrow, we'll see you next time on The Essence of Man and the Power of Speech. Have a good day.